Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we'll briefly be looking over here at the Bitcoin price chart. However, we have some action over there in the altcoin market, which is worth talking about and looking at today. Not that there's necessarily anything huge that has happened over here in the altcoin market cap today per se. However, price has briefly touched above where we were on August 11th. I won't run through all the altcoin stuff in here to show you structurally of what this looks like we've been talking about with Bitcoin, as I actually talked about this in last week's videos on how all phases in here are the same over here in the altcoin market. So nothing specific about that. But of course, if you caught yesterday's videos or any of the recent videos, we all know where we're at with Bitcoin in regards to it has followed along with 2014 through 2017 after a completed super cycle back in 2021, then performs the exact same completed super cycle correction with its timing and its behavior in here as it did back in 2014 through 2017. We know that we should be looking for some action showing up here in the altcoin market if we're going to mimic similar market conditions to that time. This was talked about in depth in yesterday's video, how if we're looking for signs that Bitcoin's going to be able to escape outside of looking at things at like the RTY or the Russell 2000 and macro markets, some of those early signs that became present back in 2017 were that the altcoins actually gave an earlier signal before Bitcoin ever did. In this example, Litecoin and XRP in 2017, before Bitcoin ever got into escape velocity. So, of course, that's been the constant discussion on saying, where is someone going to show up? Where is something going to happen? And this morning, we have something very interesting happening over here, and it's happening over there on Tron. Now, I get it. Not everybody's a fan of Tron or Justin Sun. That's not the point. This is a coin that is in the top 10 by market cap with a $13 billion market cap. After getting rejected by the 702 retracement back on February 28th, today it is now breaking through the 702 retracement. Now, one of the things I find fascinating about Tron is a lot of the work that was put into studying the market from 2021. As we saw in 2021, only about 1 out of every 5 coins ended up doing anything significant or newsworthy, or even touching their all-time highs. So a lot of work was put into figuring out what were those different metrics that ended up improving those odds to making it maybe 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. And the subcategory that actually did the best out of all subcategories was the 10 shallowest bears. So if you took the coins from the top 100 and then said, okay, in 2018 and 2019, who had the shallowest drawdowns, how would they perform? And what was noteworthy about that group is that the top 10 shallowest drawdowns, or the percentages that were the smallest. For example, drawing down 99% would make you the worst, but drawing down, say, 85% would put you in the top 10. But that group of top 10 shallowest drawdowns really beat out every group. It beat out the top 20 by market cap. It beat out circulating supply inflation, right? If you have really low inflation, did you perform better? It beat out dev activity, it beat out total value locked, it beat out everybody, just really this shallowest bear drawdown group. Now, when we went through and looked at coins from 2022 to determine who had the shallowest drawdown to try to create a similar list, well, Tron ended up being in that group, only pulling down 76% between 2021 to now. Who else was in that list? Binance Coin was in that list, and Bitcoin was in that list. From the top 100 coins by market cap from 2021 through 2024, Binance had the second shallowest drawdown, Bitcoin had the fourth shallowest drawdown, and Tron right here had the third shallowest drawdown, which is really right in line with a lot of stuff we saw back in 2018, that these were kind of the percentages that we saw drawdowns occur, and actually only 75% is really shallow compared to what we actually saw in 2018. But so far from that list of the top 10 shallowest drawdowns from the top 100, 2 of them have already hit new all-time highs. And well, here you go, Tron trying to stab through the 702 Fibonacci retracement level. Now, historically, these are typically good signs, especially when you get rejected by the 702 and then are able to go back and plunge through it. That is typically a very good sign. And I'm not here to say Tron is a massive massive buy at this point, essentially buying at the retracements. I mean, even if it does go, like let's just say your target is way up here at the 4.236 extension. If you think this market is going to expand and go into a big bull run, well, from here, it's not exactly huge percentages compared to, from the lower bounds, right? Percentage wise, it's already taken a lot by getting back there. So it's not to sit here and promote Tron and say, go run and buy Tron. It's merely to say, hey, this is kind of a signal for things that we look for throughout the rest of the market, is to see some type of break start. The thing is, this is just one coin. However, it's a coin that has had a fundamental behavior throughout 2021 through 2024 that provides an optimistic sign that maybe there is some signal here, because it was part of a shallowest bear group. This was included in a data set and a discussion that has taken place for the last 7 or 8 months. But what we know is we should be trying to look for some type of signals of things waking up in the market of where we are currently right now. And nearly 6 months ago, this thing rejected from its 702, and here we are in the last 24 hours, it's poking through it now. It's taking out those highs that were from earlier this year at a significant retracement level. And you look at that and say, is it starting now? Now, I can already see the comments coming in. Tron has launched a similar meme coin playground like Pump.Fun for Solana. I understand that. Everyone wants to attach a story and a narrative to it, and I just don't care about that. What is interesting to me is data, understanding how the market has worked historically, knowing that this type of metric for a coin mattered in 2021. And no matter what narrative we want to attach to a coin on this particular day, if it launched some particular product in the last week, it doesn't change the fact that the drawdown was very shallow. It got all the way back to its retracements. It's hovered. It's tried to get back through these retracements still here prior to any product launches. It flushes when Bitcoin does its flush. We should be looking for escapes to be happening in here, as we've talked about in past videos. And then now suddenly someone takes a stab that also matched criteria for 2021 that was significant. So I don't come to you today saying, hey, the whole market is going ballistic. But as in all of our past discussions, we're looking for some signs to show up, because we know they should show up right here if this is the future for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. And for longtime followers of the channel, knowing that that is such a significant level, we have watched it so many times how it can be our rejection level to happen in markets. But if we're able to get through it, it can become our launch pad for breakouts in markets. And I would actually argue that Justin Sun has his finger on the pulse of crypto better than 99% of people in this market, and likely is doing product launches exactly where he knows he should be. So we know we should be looking for reactions coming from the altcoin market. We have this happening over here on Tron, which is the top 10 by market cap coin. I would give that 1 check mark for the market. As for Bitcoin and the price action we're seeing over here, we'll check this out really fast. We've got a lot going on here on the screen. Obviously, this is the price structure we saw from 2019 through 2020. Down in here, of course, we've got what happened back in 2017, where that final flush happens in here. Obviously, what we're looking for with Bitcoin is just a still continued step ladder moving its way up in here. So far, that seems fine. That does seem to be the case as well over here on the altcoin market, as it does set a new high here above August 11th. Recoveries can be incredibly choppy to try to work their way out. But really, this is kind of what we're looking for, is just chop to continue shifting up. And so far, that seems to be just fine. We know that all historical precedent says that we should be paying attention to breadth and expansion over there in the United States stock market. An interesting thing to pay attention to today with the Russell 2000 is the price level it has gotten back to. I'll take that off there really quick. This is where the breakdown all took place from. 2 weeks ago, we're back at that resistance level right now. So there's likely a fight underway happening right now in the market. Shifting back to crypto, talking about things like XRP, I think it's really just that same story of waiting for things to wake up in the market and some broader market sign to show up, like if the Russell can finally break through that. However, another note about XRP is that from these data sets that were performed, it's always fascinating to watch crowd psychology behavior that happens in this market, because we can just specifically look at data and like things we talked about specifically with BNB, Bitcoin, Tron being, the second, third, and fourth shallowest drawdowns throughout 2021 through 2024. XRP was the 8th shallowest drawdown. It had the, if you want to term it as the 8th best bear market out of the top 100. So it performed better than 92 of the other of the top 100. But it does land in that bucket right there as number 8. And another one that I've talked about, and you may be thinking, why does that one come up on the channel, is Monero, because Monero came in at number 6. And so you'll often hear me kind of harp on things like development activity or total value locked. And then I'll get asked a lot, does that stuff concern you about this? And I say, yeah. But I say, I've also looked at other data too. And one of those things that XRP has going for it is the fact that it was scooped up and bought up during the drawdown. This whole move that happened right here was incredibly shallow and small of a drawdown compared to what the rest of the market did. Not to mention the massive supportive community that is behind XRP as well. It genuinely feels the size of Bitcoin's community. But that has been always one metric that was incredibly favorable for XRP here for these last couple of years, is that in the data set of shallowest bears, it lands in there at number 8. And Monero came in there at number 6. So just interesting things to pay attention to. Again, even like mentioned, right? 1 out of 5 in 2021. How do you improve odds to 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5? These data points were things that mattered. And I think we're already seeing that here in 2024 as these dynamics are coming into play. So as we continue to look for signs to show up in this market, still seems like it is a waiting game. We have one from the top 10 that is doing something very interesting. We know we should be looking for this type of behavior starting to emerge right now. We'll keep our eyes peeled for more of them to do it currently. Keep our eyes peeled over here on the Russel to see how it's reacting here at this resistance level. And hopefully we can get more things to show up in the market now. Otherwise, that may end up being a huge sign when we look back on it in weeks from now. So definitely a relief to see something emerge from this market. I do own a small amount of Tron. It is less than 1% of my portfolio. That is simply because I followed this strategy and essentially built a portfolio accounting for all of these different metrics that are in here. So even if Tron goes to the moon, I'm not necessarily going to have life-changing wealth from it, but I look at it from the perspective of it being a positive sign for the market, albeit a little sign, not something gigantic where it's happening broadly yet, but a first initial sign, and fingers crossed that can continue. So we'll keep our eye on it throughout the week, and of course we'll check in on it again tomorrow in markets in the morning. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. You guys could check out the newsletter over here on blockchainbacker.substack.com. It does give you access to all the past newsletters as well as all that research data that was done. Most recent one was published here just a few days ago. It includes a 24-minute audio voiceover. I personally voice record all the newsletters and explain the charts on there. You can, of course, check out bcbacker.com. If videos are more of your thing, there's over 40 videos and 11 hours of content teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators on TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. There are links down here in the description of this video to bcbacker.com and to the newsletter there at blockchainbacker.substack.com. Otherwise, I will check in with you tomorrow. But all right, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.